Well, hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. This is another great episode of Cloud Foundry Weekly. We're coming to you a little late here today, but it's going to be a great show. We have the spring superstar team assembled here, and we're here to talk about DevNexus, which was last week, and all the cool things that happened there. And of course, I didn't get to go, so I don't know. This is the first time hearing about cool stuff, and I keep hearing and seeing images of these playing cards that I also have none of, so we can talk about that as well. But hey, that is what's going on. How is everyone doing today in your part of the world?
Amazing.
Very cool. To be a Spring developer, and we were only like 500 seconds. No, like 300 seconds late. Like that's well within like 2 nines, right?
Yeah.
Like we tons of budget left.
Yeah. Oh, and I kept you in the loop, DaShaun, because sometimes we don't quick get maybe we're a little not great on the show time or something, and you're always like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like, well, I got you invited this week, so you know what's going on.
Nick, what episode is this? What number episode are we on here?
86.
86. So it's been 85 episodes since DaShaun and I have been on, because we had the privilege of being on episode number 1 with you guys,
yes,
and that was awesome. 85 episodes ago. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been a blast. We're
it's good times.
Now we live in the era of agentic AI, where time is very fast. So
yeah, think of what we were doing with AI 85 episodes ago.
Oh, yeah,
copy and pasting from ChatGPT.
at best case.
Yep.
Oh wow! Now times have changed for sure. Cora, I think this is your first time on the show, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you.
And welcome.
Thank you.
And maybe Chris's first time too. So we have some newbies here, but we'll have to go start with Cora. Like, do you remember your first CF push or your first kind of Cloud Foundry experience and how that happens?
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to 2014 when I first joined Pivotal. In fact, when I joined, soon after I joined, I think CF push became like sort of critical to like even passing an interview to get into Pivotal. Like you had to be able to, do a CF push, talk about it. But when I got hired, it was just like probably maybe the last interview before that. So I actually got hired into Pivotal, not really knowing much about Cloud Foundry. And then I saw, I don't know if you guys remember, well, you must remember her, Cornelia Davis, who was brilliant and just a brilliant communicator. And she came I'm in New York, and so she came to the New York office, and she was doing a demo. And I remember she showed the CF push, which was amazing. It was so simple. But what really got to me was when she switched into the logging in the application manager UI, and she showed the logging of a multi-instance application, and it was all like streamed to you. And just like I had this like rush back of all the memories of SSHing into these different machines to like find my logs and trace like a request throughout them. And I was like, it's one of those moments where you realize like the frustration that you've been dealing with for years, that you kind of felt maybe like, if I complain about this, does it mean that I'm lazy, or does it mean that I'm doing something wrong or whatever? And then you're like, oh, I wasn't alone. And this is amazing. That was my moment.
These kids don't know how good they got it these days.
No.
No idea.
No. Oh, no. My kid just says deploy to the basement now with Cloud Code, and it's just all just got like 20 apps running on CF now. So anyway, it's great times. Maybe we'll show the latest if we have some extra time. But now, Chris, you're also new to the show. Let's do the same for you. What's your first Cloud Foundry experience?
So I have a kind of crazy experience. So I
I like it.
I accidentally came upon the Gradle or Maven plugin. I can't remember which one it was. Quite a long time ago, to VCAP. And it was automatically deploying. At the time, it was not very stable. My network location, that the URL it gave me was not working all the time. And so I ended up dumping it for the project that I was working on. I had my own company at the time. But then 2 years later, I believe, I ended up at CenturyLink Cloud, now called Lumen. And CenturyLink Cloud hired me to make the the new version of AppFog, which was a multi-tenant Cloud Foundry. And we were working with the Pivotal team on a lot of this as well. So I was actually maintaining a Cloud Foundry. There's a couple of folks that came over to Pivotal back in the day, and some of them they're still around, even in my office here.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I forgot about the CenturyLink days and some of that stuff too. So pretty cool stuff. So good to get those new stories added to the roster of first Cloud Foundry experiences. So thanks for coming on. Now I guess maybe we should just get right into it. Who's got the Tanzu playing cards? Who wants to talk about them? We have a website for them now.
I got 20 of them.
Got some. Yeah, 20.
Dan was the first to get all 20. He doesn't just have 20.
Have you collected them all? Did you catch them all, so to speak?
Oh yeah, we caught them all. Nate and I were right away running around the conference trying to find all of these. I was trying to debate. I'm trying to figure this out. Do I want to put all 20 of these into a frame and put them on my wall, or sell them for $1 million on eBay? I'm kind of torn. So
we'll take the first bidder, said $1 million, and I'll take.
I already said I'm buying Rob Winch for $1 million. I'm just missing the one.
Oh, well, you'll get 19 others with it.
Yeah. No, you can sell them all for $1 million each. Come on, I gotta get that commission.
In all seriousness, they were a lot of fun. If you weren't at DevNexus, what we did with these cards is we had at the booth we had a couple cards because Cote wasn't in person, so you can get Cote's card, or you can get the Tanzu card from the booth. And then you had to go around, and we had 18 other people there speaking. And so if you went to their session, all the speakers had cards, and you could ask them for cards afterwards. You could ask them for in the hallway. I was at the booth, so I saw a lot of people. It's, hey, Chris, Cora, give me your card, please. And then you could just collect them. So it made it a lot of fun. And I think at least in the sessions I was in, people came up and just like asked for a card, and then they just like start talking about the session. So it was like a nice like icebreaker to like just kind of start chit chatting with people.
So yeah, actually, I found it very serendipitous also to meet with some of our customers. It was they came up for a card, and then I'd ask them where they're from, and I was like, "Oh, I think you're doing XYZ," and they were like, "Yes, we are," or "No, we aren't." And we'd have a great conversation about what was going on.
It was a conversation starter. It was
great.
I remember the first time meeting Chris Sterling. I remember thinking, this is going to be awkward, but I got to go give him a hug. And like,
that is
I stressed about it for a little bit. But with the card, I could be like, hey, could I have your card and a hug?
And a hug?
That makes it less weird, I guess, right?
Well, DaShaun and I are comparable size, so,
that's true.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was going to say something about that. Somebody had mentioned that, like, oh, I just met DaShaun, and like, you're really tall in life. And I had that same feeling when I met DaShaun, but I was standing next to Chris and DaShaun. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like in the forest.
Yeah. Cool. Now, did we have a program where if you collected all the cards, could you come get a Millennium Falcon Lego?
Yes, that was part of the game. If you collected all 20, you could bring them back to the booth. And on Friday, and you would get to pick a special prize. There were a bunch of prizes, and that you could kind of pick from.
Much like a Magic the Gathering campaign, right? There's treasure at the end, and the treasure was there, but you had to like finish the campaign of collecting all 20 cards to open the treasure box.
Oh, and that's another thing. I am not a big card player. I don't play like games like this, but I did recognize the cards. But I was also told that you can use these cards and play them in a game. So that seems pretty cool too. I might have to pick up this card game just to try that out.
Well, one of the cool things was that, like, first it's like, hey, yeah, cool. Like I got Chris, and how come hit points of Chris are this many, and what? How that happened? But on Friday, at least 2 people were collecting the cards for their friends that had the regular weekly Magic the Gathering game. They're like, yeah, I'm not a spring guy, but my buddy plays a regular game, and I heard these cards are cool, so I'm going around. It was awesome. Like I totally got that. So yeah, it was a multi-purpose.
They're Magic the Gathering compliant cards. So you guys opt in, or these are. Oh, that's very. Very
And
cool.
I think we need to give some credit where credit is due. Mr. Michael Cote designed all of these cards, not by hand. I mean, I don't know if he's an artist or not, but he put all of these cards together, and he did the titles and like all of the attributes of the card, and they were just awesome.
Spot on.
Yeah. And I guess if you're watching, I'll put a link in there. We'll call it to another one of our colleagues, Dan Basquette, who built this application today. And hopefully you can hit that because it's a pretty fresh domain. It's still only a few hours long. So,
I can hit it. You should pull it up.
Yeah. If you have like a pretty strict network compliance situation, they may block that for another 24 hours because it's just very, very freshly registered.
It's brand new.
Yeah.
The DNS hasn't even propagated.
Yeah. It might hit some time to live issues, but it's there.
I think it's good to know. Yeah, I think it's good to know, though, at Spring I.O. coming up in Barcelona, you'll actually be able to do the same thing with the speakers that are going to be there.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
DaShaun and I were talking before the show, like, we're not going this year, but we almost wanted to go just to get the cards.
Yeah.
Right. It just makes the trip that much more exciting that there's like that additional purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
and there's some really cool ones. There's some really cool ones.
I hate to be that guy that's jealous. But the Spring I.O. pack is
it's killer.
I'm so far. I just like the first couple pass-throughs that I've seen. I'm a huge fan of Rawson's and Gregory Green's. Like those are the two collector's cards I want. Those are pretty awesome.
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to bring this up.
Looking him up.
Screen 3. That looks good. How are we looking?
Daniel.
They zoom in.
Yep.
Daniel's is pretty good too.
I like Moritz and Sebastian.
Raquel's is really cool too.
Raquel's is amazing too. It's a pretty sweet stack.
Well, I like Odin's.
Odin looks amazing.
Oh yeah.
Orin. Yeah.
Orin's. Oh yeah.
There's Ross.
These are all awesome. Like this.
I know.
This is the coolest stuff ever. I gotta be honest.
We should show Code's
marketing, right? Like, yeah. We
you gotta show Code.
We gotta go back to and shout out to Dan who vibed this up this morning. Or we're going back to now we're on DevNexus.
Yeah, there's Chris. There's Cora.
Yeah, Cora. All right, DaShaun, Dan. Oh, you got this. I saw this. I just started laughing.
I like that. He just has no attributes. It's just Cote.
Yeah. Power 1000, HP 3. Yeah.
It's the best.
I don't even know what all this stuff means. Then I like Tanzu Platform HP 3000. So I assume that
Power
good,
Infinity.
Right? Oh yeah, Power Infinity. Yeah. What does that even mean? And I don't play Magic.
It's a powerful card.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
You have push.
See, yeah. Power Infinity and has enterprising aura to satisfy all. Yeah. If you're in this space, you're gonna have a good time. I think just reading what all these descriptions,
but they all fit.
The different things. Yeah,
they all fit.
Yeah.
Like you read them and you understand a little bit more about each person.
Well done, all around, everyone involved.
I think one we'll have to ask Dan about this, but I think a cool feature of this, because I was talking to somebody else and they're like, "Yeah, I'm going to talk to Cote and figure out like how he created these because I want to do this for my family." And I was like, "Oh, maybe we could add a feature to the website for that. Like, here is the prompt. Here's like how I constructed these cards. It'd be fun to like do that for the family." So
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, quick shout out to Dan. I clicked on the cards. They look great. Thanks for building this.
Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing. Well done.
All right. This is TanzuCards.com, freshly minted domain. You should check it out. You can sign in and collect it all. I think I can just sign in. I'm going to pull this off screen for a second.
Wait, why is your cert not saying it's secure? Mine is.
Well, it's your certs because it's where the network plumbing's going. I'm still internal and I have not updated my internal certificate.
Got it.
I didn't want to push Taz in the middle of the day with a cert change. You know what I'm saying? So
understood. Totally understood.
We have to call a plumber, DaShaun.
Yeah. No, the sys change lined up for tonight. Okay, I just
there you go.
Didn't have time to
that new.
Yeah.
So we're seeing like first showing. This is it.
Yes.
The debut.
Yes. I'll hold on. I'm trying to figure out how to log in. Where do I put this password?
Oh, and Josh is in. If you want to add him to the show.
I'm sorry, Josh.
Good morning.
He is.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
hello.
evening.
Hey, Josh.
Hi. Sorry I'm so late.
Oh, it's okay.
Just showing off TanzuCards.com.
Yeah.
The best
Our
website
latest.
ever.
Yeah, and you can collect them.
But
See, I'm still 0 of 18 because I don't have any of these cards.
but you missed an opportunity to call it Tanzu the Gathering.
Well, I mean, we can.
Oh, you know,
No,
why'd you do this live?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hurry up, somebody buy
Let me
it.
get a cloud player. Buy this other domain. Somebody takes it.
Hurry up, Dan.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's see who can win.
Tanzu the Gathering. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. All right. Yeah. This code. Cote's card. It gets me every time. All right.
It's my favorite.
I love this. This is awesome. Okay, we could literally probably just spend the rest of the hour just playing.
Freaking out on the cards. Yeah.
Yeah, but we should. I don't know. Maybe talk about some spring stuff and some like what's going on. I know y'all had sessions and did some great talks. I think Cora, we saw you did a preview of the show at Eternal Tanzu Live. I think before, at least the week before. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's yeah.
But yeah, let's. Who wants to talk about what they talked about?
Let's start with Cora since you brought it up. Because first of all, it's hot. It's a great topic. Second of all, she presented it at DevNexus, and then on Tuesday at the Kansas City Java user group, it was like point for point everything that she presented. One of the local developers at one of the local companies was going down and describing the exact use case that she presented about. It was amazing. I mean, it wasn't doing the high performance, low latency step, but it was still using all the same building blocks, and it was amazing. So let's talk about that one.
And then Cora came on an internal group this week for us and presented her talk from last week this week. So she's been busy.
It's fun. Yeah, I'll repeat. If anybody else wants to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, let's just pivot.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me bring my slides out. No, this was so much fun. This was an idea so a few colleagues. It's been like a team effort, I guess, internally, from concept with Siva Edaichami from Broadcom to implementation with Greg Green, to troubleshooting with Udo Kohlmeier. It's been a really fun project, and so basically. The idea is focusing on AI, on inference, like ML really, and the very, very stringent latency requirements that you have for ML, for inference operations. So if you're doing fraud detection or any one of those use cases where you have to take this really like microsecond sometimes decision, send some kind of request to an inference model, get a reply, and act on it. How to achieve that with really low latency and at scale. And so we built a prototype, a demo using, of course, Spring and Spring with Spring data for Gemfire and of course, and then Gemfire was really sort of like the back end that gave us the scalability and the latency that we needed. And then in order to the missing piece of the puzzle is the getting a model packaged in a way that it can run inside the JVM. And we did that with the Onyx Open Neural Network Exchange format. So the idea is if you have a model and you can package it using this format or obtain it getting this format, I just downloaded one from Hugging Face. You can run it right inside the JVM, so inside your Spring Boot application. So you get really low latency for in-memory inference that doesn't require additional data. And if your inference does need extra data, like let's say you're getting a request and it's a username, so you need to pick up the profile, or my demo did like product reviews, so you get a product name and you have to read all of the reviews from some kind of from some kind of data source, evaluate each one for sentiment. Then you want to put the computation not only co-located with the inference model, but also co-located with the data. And in both cases, you have to be concerned about how to make that as low latency as possible and also how to make that as scalable as possible. And so this this 3-part architecture really fit the bill for both of those. And so that's what we demoed. That's what I spoke about. And it's been so much fun to build it. And it's great, as DaShaun says, to kind of like, once I told DaShaun this morning, I was like, whoa, when it rains, it pours. And I think it's like, when you start focusing on something, then you start to notice like everywhere that it's popping up. But yeah, I'm glad that this is of interest and it seems timely, relevant. So yeah.
I've seen tons of just the Onyx ONNX format being adopted by the Spring community. There was even other presentations at DevNexus that were showing that. But also just being connected to the customers that we're connected to, understanding that these things where they were a Fortune 5 company, for their fraud detection, they were sending it all back to single region data center to do this analysis. When now we realize that hey, we can put that closer to where their stores are and deliver it this way. It's exciting that things have moved so fast, and you've shown a clear path for how companies that are running these types of ML ops types of models can now run it faster, closer to where they need to be.
This is
and
the
there
way.
was another there was another angle to it actually, because there is the really low latency inference, but then there's the idea of like, how do you get your model? If you're going to put it in memory in a bunch of Spring Boot applications, how do you get it there? And then if you have a model update, how do you get the update there? And Gemfire actually worked perfectly for that as well, as a model store that can store data in any kind of format, has update events, and then you have Spring listeners, and the whole thing just kind of like magically works very beautifully, not only for this case, but for any kind of artifact distribution. So it was kind of like a 2-for-1.
Very cool.
Do we
Very
think
cool.
it's worth talking about, what is Gemfire essentially?
I would
Let's
love
give
to
a
hear
quick.
more.
Yeah, go for it. Who wants to go? 1, 2,
I
3,
can
not
try.
in.
Yeah, go for it, Josh.
So Gemfire, I don't know if for those of us in the call, it's pretty straightforward. But I have found that Gemfire is the sort of the best kept secret, and it's one of those things that existed as it's an interesting company. It used to be called Gemstone. The technology was Gemstone, and it was written in Smalltalk, I think. I could be making that up, but somebody could correct me. I think it's Smalltalk or something like that. And eventually, it became it was written in Java, but it's a data grid. It's a RAM. It's a RAM map. It's a map distributed over a cluster that you can put things in, and it's been around for decades. It's not a new thing. It's been around for literally probably closer to 20 years than not, and at least maybe even longer if you think about the Smalltalk version. And it's one of those things where people who have the use case that for which it's suitable know and respect it, and if you don't know that you have the use case, you probably don't even know about it. And that's just, I don't know why. It's just one of those things where everybody who's ever used it and who knows why they would use it love it, and those who haven't, they should. There's probably a use case for which it's well suited, and you just haven't really conceived of it. So it started off as people naively slot it into things that they think relates to their world and workflow and worldview. And so the first thing I think people reach for is this idea of a cache. But I would trust my data in Gemfire more than I would in MySQL or something like that, right? It has a higher chance of being preserved in Gemfire in the case of a catastrophic outage or something, than it does almost anything else. Sorry, what?
Because of the way
because
you can
it's
deploy
a distributed.
Yeah.
We can deploy it. You can scale it out horizontally, and it does everything else. You can do transactions. You can do consensus across multiple nodes. You can do continuous query where you can say, hey, I'm waiting for this thing to be true. If the following, instead of querying the database every minute asking, hey, do you have anything where A equals B? You can just say, as soon as something is true, as soon as A is B, let me know, which is a much more efficient way to work, right? It pushes the change to you instead of you asking it all the time. So you're not constantly connecting and doing all that nonsense.
That's what we were using for the model distribution, precisely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I think that's the key, though, too. It's not a distributed cache only, which is what usually gets kind of piled into, but it's actually you put your logic right there next to the cache, and you can have it do things for you.
And it persists data. It does persist data.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course, you can do right behind. It supports all the patterns. It also has a binary encoding mechanism, so you can actually serialize data. It doesn't have. You can do like JSON or Java objects serialization or whatever, but you can also do there's a binary encoding that you can use as well. So data can be lightning fast on the wire, and it's. I don't want to name any names or anything, but I remember when I first learned about Gemfire back in 2010. We had customers who came. So Gemfire has what's called a WAN. What is it? Replication or gateway? And yeah, and so basically you can say I've got a Gemfire cluster in Singapore, but I need to have data replicated to the Americas, right? In Brazil and whatever. And so I need to have this happen as close to real time as possible. And again, this is 16 plus years ago, I'm hearing about this use case, right? And people would come to me and say, well, I want to use Gemfire. No, I'm sorry. They wanted to use the distinguished competition, okay? I'm not going to, again, I won't name names, but slow herence. It rhymes with slow herence, right? And they wanted to use the distinguished competition, but they wanted to use our WAN gateway, right? Because they couldn't get that distribution with that existing technology. So I don't know if things have changed, but I just remember thinking, gosh, like it really is quite good. And of course, those people invariably, it was just much more natural for them to start using Gemfire. It's just an amazing piece of tech, and it does. I mean, I can think of a lot of things that you could get rid of in your stack if you just replaced it with a Gemfire. Your messaging technology, probably faster and more real time and more transactional with Gemfire. Your data store, you want guaranteed backups and all that. Get rid of that. You can use Gemfire. Your cache, your blob store or whatever, your cache. This is perfect for that kind of thing. And of course now
DB.
AI and embeddings. Yeah, your vector database. I mean, it's a Swiss Army knife of data.
It's so fast.
Easy to use.
Oh,
it's easy to use. Sorry, yeah.
I think that easy to use though. Even on top of that, if you're using Tanzu Platform, you can actually get Gemfire and have it just as a service. So it's like just
CF create service.
Really easy CF create service. Yeah.
And you can have two foundations like sync with each other and
and Spring Data. Spring Data will give you all of the data.
Tried to resize
data stereotypes.
Yeah, right. A JVM. Resize a JVM.
Cloud
I
cache.
needed 20 gig container reservation because of all the stuff that I was putting inside of my heap, and having the ability to say, I'm going to go ahead and put that in Gemfire, not lose any of the performance, but I have got now, instead of 20 gig reservations, I've got 1 gig reservations, and I have access to all the data that I was storing in the heap. That's power. That's a multiplier.
Oh yeah, and also I forgot to mention, it can also act as just like if you want availability, you can just put it there. So you can use a Spring session. Like this is a huge waste of Gemfire. You can do way more with Gemfire than just this. But another use case is you can use something like Spring Session and say, okay, I want to have my HTTP servlet sessions replicated across as many nodes. So even if this web server dies, my session state hasn't been lost. It's persisted in Gemfire. High availability is a super good use case,
You could also use it for AI. You could also use it for AI.
Yep.
It's got vector support. It does everything.
All right. So if anybody's listening and is like, here's one place you could. That's the demo that I was talking about earlier. But there's so many other use cases for it. But that's a place to. And this one uses Spring Boot, Docker, Compose support. So when you start the Spring Boot application, it'll start Gemfire for you. Yeah.
Nick, can you highlight that or put it in the screen?
Yeah, I just put it in the chat, but I will pull it up on the screen even.
Oh, sorry, I put it in the. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I cringe when I see Java 8. I also cringe when I see sticky sessions. Just throwing it out there.
No, they're the enemy of state. But I mean, you've got to have.
It still happens.
Like, if you've got to have a session, at least make it Spring Session.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to have a high availability time, make it a Spring Session time.
Awesome. Yeah. So we have up on screen. We have the GitHub repo here with this demo. Check it out. We'll put it in the in the chat as well, if you want to go and check that out. But here it is,
so cool.
hanging out. Very cool. Okay, and then also a quick shout out to Keith too. Yeah, some of you may have called this or know this as Pivotal Cloud Cache. So back in the day. So,
there's a phrase I like to say when I'm talking about Gemfire. My children will never deploy active passive.
Mm-hmm.
We've had Gemfire for years.
Your children are so spoiled.
They'll never know.
Yeah.
They'll never know how good they got it.
Yeah.
They'll never know.
You get Tanzu Platform and a awesome data platform like Gemfire. Whew. Just all their problems are solved for them. They could just have Claude write all the apps.
Your kids understand, Nick. Your kids understand that there's more than one AZ in your house. You're not the only one. I also have a basement. Like, my kids know, like, you don't just deploy data to one AZ. You replicate. If one of the AZs goes away, we're still good.
But the Tanzu Platform takes care of it for them. They don't even have to worry about that.
But they don't. I don't tell them how easy it is.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Exactly.
I'm working hard to make this family resilient.
So I got to explain the power bill somehow, right?
Absolutely.
I thought, talking about scale, I mean, Josh pulled in quite a few folks into his session. Yeah. So
Spring did that. Yeah, that was.
Spring did that.
That was a lot of fun. I did.
You had a workshop first.
No, that's true. I did a workshop with my buddy James Ward over at the hyperscaler AWS, talking about Spring AI. Now, it turns out that AI is going to be big. Now, this you heard it from here. You heard it here. Okay. I think
glad I was sitting down.
Bold prediction.
It's going to go place. Yeah. Hot take. And so, great group, great crowd, great everything. That was a 8-hour thing on the day before. I forget. It's all a jumble at this point.
Wednesday.
But then the next day, up in Adam, I recorded I've never seen this before. There was a conference recording talks at another conference. So I'm ostensibly at DevNexus, but Azul has an AI conference coming up, and they asked me to do a talk, and I said okay, I would. And they had a studio set up at DevNexus. So amazing. There I was. I went into that room at 8 or 9 or whatever it was in the morning on that first day. I recorded my talk for a conference at the conference. It's like a nesting doll
Inception.
Conferences.
Babushka conference.
Exactly. And then from there we did I had 5 total talks that day. So there was 4 more DevNexus proper talks. And I did a talk with my buddy Deeb Saikali on basically like how to make my nonsense real. Like, you've seen me do my Spring application, and I know people look at my code and then they go home and probably imbibe alcohol, right? Because the reality is writing the code was never the hard part. It's getting that thing to production to your users, and that's where people start to think, well, I've got, he wrote a 20-line Java program that does agentic, secure, scalable, enterprise-ready AI, but I've got hundreds of lines of YAML to wade through before I can get this thing up to my Kubernetes cluster. And so that's just sad. And so we wanted to show that doesn't have to be the case. You can, like we said, the obvious story here, which is Cloud Foundry is way better than the whatever the heck you're using right now. And so we talked about the platform, Tanzu Platform. We talked about provisioning the vector stores and the databases. We talked about security and elasticity, all the itties, and it was good. So then we did, what else did we, Adib, Rod Johnson, and I sat on a panel moderated by Kevin Strumhire, and that was actually pretty good despite my participation. And then we did, what else? What happened? There's 2 more left. James Ward and I did an abbreviated, I find it a little odd. We have better, how people do amazing things with haikus, right? Like constraint begets creativity. Yep. And so I actually do more content in a shorter talk than we did in the workshop the day before with 8 hours. So we had like 50 minutes or 40 minutes, whatever. And that was like, it was just a pure play Spring AI talk, right? And so that was a good sized room, and it was to the rafters, standing room only. So Dr. Pollock and I did the same kind of talk last year. But remember, that's last year. That's 12 months ago, okay? The trees have changed since then. And I was thinking, surely by now, people will have heard about, and the intensity will have cooled a little bit. You know, we had a standing room only, to the rafters, people on the floor talk last year. But it's been 12 months. That's how time works. As time progresses, the days, they pass. You understand? More things have been said since then. I thought people would have been sated. But no, here we are again, another crazy, jammed to the walls talk with people sitting down and like stacking on top of each other like that cartoon, We Bare Bears. And then what was the last one? So we did that. That was fun. And then, Rob Winch. Rob Winch is the lead of Spring Security, for those of you who don't know, and shame on you.
And he's a very rare Pokemon as well.
The rarest Pokemon. And I think he's also one of the goodest eggs. And so I wanted to do a talk with him, and he's been telling, rightly so, by the way, like let's be real here. He's been saying, no, that's a terrible idea for decades now. And so he finally agreed to do it. And we basically did a talk called what we would get, I don't know, Beautiful Spring Security. But basically, we've done this talk before, under duress, mind you, but we did it before. And the talk was like, okay, well, here's the new and Spring Security. And we thought, well, that's what our normal 50-minute talk is. But what if we did like 2.5 times that in the same 50-minute talk, right? So, and that was the thrust of this one, right? Which is like, let's do a lot more. So we did all of the stuff that's new in Spring Security, and we showed one-time tokens and multi-factor auth and password migration on authentication. We showed authorization manager factories, and then that's where we did OAuth, of course. We did OAuth. We set up an OAuth authorization server, the authorization server. We did OAuth clients and HTTP, and then that's where the normally talk would have finished. But then it's like, okay, well, there's more protocols that, what's that? There are more, what is that quote from Horatio? There are more than you can dream of. Horatio, hold on, I'm Googling it. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. There are more protocols in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your HTTP service. So like we did HTTP OAuth client and HTTP OAuth services, but that's not even close to the beginning of what people are doing these days, right? And so we also did a gateway, Spring Cloud Gateway, and did the token relay. Then we built a Spring Shell application, a CLI application, using device code authorization and Spring Auth server. Then we did Spring AI, and we did MCP client and service using OAuth and MCP security. Then we did gRPC OAuth client and gRPC service with OAuth. And
how long
I wanted to do...
Was this 40 minutes, 50 minutes? How long did
50
you
minutes, but and I ran short of time. You can see where my folly was. I ran short of time. I didn't get to show the Spring integration, Kafka client and service using OAuth tokens. And we had that lined up. I was ready to type it out. And the nice thing about this, doing it live, there's no like slide, there's no slides in the bottom that say, N of Y, right? N of M. Nobody knew that we weren't done, right?
Yeah.
We got to like 6 out of 7 demos. And we're like, oh, well, anyway, that's it. Thanks for coming. People thought we were done. They thought we finished when they didn't. They didn't get what they came for.
I have a really important question about that talk. Mm-hmm. Did you happen to get an extra Rob Winch card because Cora needs one?
I did. Price is $1 million.
I didn't even know I didn't get. People were nice enough to give me cards, and that's appreciated because I didn't know we were supposed to be collecting. Is there I love the cards, but is there like
There was at the booth. Like if you got all 20, you can go to the booth and pick a prize out of the prize basket. There were just some random things.
A free copy of Spring Boot?
Yes, the open source version, you get a free copy. Okay. Sorry, Cora, I'll keep working.
Spring.io.
Yeah.
You were a busy man, Josh.
I mean, and then I went home that night, and I'm sad I didn't get to stay. But also, you know, I got to sleep in my own bed, which was nice.
You did miss a really good team dinner at a very long table.
I was look, I'm really sad. I saw the photos. I missed you all, but
we missed
I was
you.
so glad to go home.
But you,
I do think there was one thing though that Josh mentioned, which is, hey, this AI thing is going to be kind of hot coming up.
Yeah.
So
I don't think so.
It was actually a theme though. I was actually surprised talking to so many folks who were using coding assistants.
Yeah.
I was
does anybody write
surprised
Spring anymore?
Proliferation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were actually writing Spring with their coding assistants, and they were doing a lot of cool things with it. So I don't know what others heard there, but that seemed like a theme that I was having in all the lunch tables.
Yeah. I mean,
It's happening.
It's good. It's so good. And, you know, we're buoyed, of course, by this, I think, better late than never realization that the JVM is not just, and Spring is not just as good a choice for building these agentic systems and services than, say, your Python or Node or Go or whatever, but it's better. And it's not just a little bit. It's provably better. It's faster, more secure, more scalable, more resilient, more integrated than these other lackluster alternatives. Not to mention less code required to get those results, right? I can write less code in my Spring AI application than you can write in your LangChain on Python application, and I get a better result because I don't have to deal with types and schema, right? I don't have to perpetuate schema manually because I have a type system. Imagine. So, you know.
Oh, not only that, I mean, within Spring, you got all this ecosystem, 60 plus projects, right? And all of those you can connect in. You don't just do AI to do AI's sake. You know, you got to do some security around it. You got to do some, you know, integration with other clients and servers and such.
And if I can do it, you can definitely do it, people. Look, just do the thing. Start that Spring.io.
I understand that we, especially at a conference, right? Not everybody from all the amazing companies that we got to interface with, not everybody from those companies got to go to the conference. There are different levels, right? Good, better, and best at every company. And there are some that are at the front. They're doing the things like Adib and Josh were showing at the conference. Like they're doing running these agents on stuff 24/7. And not everybody's there yet. I can see that's my takeaway from DevNexus was like, this is where people are going. A lot of developers, a lot of the folks that we talked to, they're not able to do code. They're compliance and regulatory. They can't do it on their laptop. They need a place to run those agents. And that's the thing. That was what I left with is they want a place to run those agents. It's coming. It's moving fast.
Any other interesting AI topics going on there, or is this all about agents and that type of thing?
Well, I had a lot of fun actually just integrating MCP and chat on top of Tanzu Platform into my demo for animal rescue that I did with Cora. We did it on one session where we were talking about the modern Spring workflow, and I also did it with Spencer Gibb, who is one of the maintainers of Spring Cloud. And we were able to show off API Gateway, fronting all of these services, including an MCP server and a chatbot interface. So that was a lot of fun. Actually, I'll put that into the chat as well.
Very cool.
Link to that. But that was one of the things I was getting excited because I was coding this up before the talk, and I was starting to take advantage of Gen AI services on top of Tanzu Platform, and I had a model in behind the scenes. It was you could put any model behind it, but it always looked like an OpenAI compatible interface. And then behind the model, behind it was an actual model of GPT OSS 20B. So that was kind of cool. I was able to just leverage that immediately and start doing some really cool things with it, including, it was an adoption request for animals, and it would even show pictures of the animals. I'd say, show me a picture of Paprika, and it would pop that up in the chat window, and made me feel like I really wanted to adopt Paprika, even though they're not real.
Can we agree that
it was a lot of fun though to have that demo?
Can we agree that animals in demos is
I think you cracked the code.
Yeah.
No,
It's the
not me.
best.
It's Spring Pictures, right? But I'm just saying, I think we're all rediscovering how wonderful that is, because it used to be that we do these like enterprise demos, and I just like whatever that means. These very boring. Yeah, just animals. Who doesn't love animals? You had me at animal.
Yeah. You still have that demo running, Chris? I'll see if I can find it.
I believe so.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so cute. Yeah.
I know a place where it runs.
Yeah, you might
He's
know.
got a URL for you.
I just there.
Animals the Gathering.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Our friend Rita asked, was anybody surprised by anything at DevNexus? I know I was. Any of you surprised by anything?
I mean, I was surprised Rob Winch left without giving me a card.
I mean,
Noted. Noted. Anything else? Dan, were you surprised by anything at DevNexus?
No, not really. I've been to DevNexus before, and it was one of my favorite conferences ever. So no, nothing really shocked. I mean, I came from Montreal the week before where it was 7 degrees, and then it was 80 degrees in Atlanta. So that was a nice surprise. But other than that, pretty much what I expected.
I don't think that I wasn't surprised by this. I wouldn't say that that's the right word, but I think it's always so wonderful to be like, these conferences that are community organized or like, they're not corporate, right? This is the Atlanta Java user group putting this together. Glenn, Vincent, Pratik, and team. It's a lot of work, but it's done with so much love, and you feel it when you're there that this is a community. And it's just, I think I met somebody at the airport on the way out. My flight was like super delayed, so I spent 5.5 hours at the airport. And luckily, I think thanks to the Tanzu cards, somebody was like, "Are you Cora?" And so it was really.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and so those 5.5 hours flew by after that. But it was somebody who was there for the first time. And just, arrived nervous and then found the whole environment so embracing and supportive and left really energized. So yeah, I guess I'm not surprised that was the case, but it's always it just means a lot to experience that. It's not, I guess I wouldn't take it for granted.
Yeah. Yeah. And not surprised, but like I say, like every time I go to a conference, there's like, you have to find like the small pocket of people you want to like hang out with. And usually that's like the Java and Spring folks, right? But at DevNexus, like the entire conference is your people. So it was a lot of fun.
I think I just wanted to quibble with Cora's characterization there. I think people just know who you are because you're awesome. By the way, I forgot to say, she also made a very, 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 very useful cameo in the workshop that I did, which that was one of those things where people were talking about it later on because, it was a slight tangent from what we were talking about, but it made everything else better. Anyway, ignore me now.
I was
fun,
surprised.
Josh. Thank you.
That Kubernetes has been around for a long time. I was surprised that people are still struggling building their own platform. Well, maybe not surprised. I was surprised to hear about it. I was surprised to hear about that at DevNexus in 2026.
Yeah, it seems. Yeah, I'm sorry. I get distracted by the kittens on the screen. I'll have to take them off for a second. But on that note, yeah, I'm surprised as well, DaShaun, that people are still. It's kind of like, oh, that seems like such a 5-year-old problem to deal with. Now you're like, we're dealing with agentic coding agents and things.
And nobody even wants to hear about that problem anymore. Like,
yeah,
we were talking about that.
Kubernetes, what?
BC.
Yeah, yeah. Now we need to figure out how to get all this agentic code running somewhere. But anyway, and I think too, on another note, I want to do an ROI study. Have one of my favorite models help me out of measure the tokens it takes to push to Kubernetes or Cloud Foundry or some other simplified platform. Because that in the end scheme, if you have a extremely complicated deployment pipeline and you you kind of farm that out to an agent, it's still going to probably consume a lot more tokens than just a CF push, I guess, if you know what I'm saying, right? So there's some interesting thoughts around that.
I was just going to say, coming back to something Josh said at the beginning, that like the hard part is not writing code, it's getting to production. Mm-hmm. I could just say this, for unequivocal fact that like I have a little side project that is like something helping me, just a tool that's helping me. And it was 80,000 lines of like Java code. Mm-hmm. Getting it to production with my 24 years of experience was not an easy task. And like, yes, there are platforms that help like do this, but even then, like you have to have some institutional knowledge of like how the internet works, right? Mm-hmm. And so when people tell me that like that we are just going to go away because some tool is going to automate some code, I just went through this and I can tell you we are a long way away from that happening.
Mm-hmm. Well, not only that, there's so much brownfield applications that provides most of the value in a lot of these organizations. You're not going to throw those out tomorrow or modernize them, overnight. It's going to be, we haven't done that yet. Otherwise, we probably would have.
And I'll say a takeaway, not surprise, because I kind of knew this going in, but we got to talk to a lot of developers at very large companies. And what is their adoption of AI? Really just kind of dipping their toe in the water right now. Nobody's swimming yet. Everybody's just trying to feel it out and see like what tools are useful, if they're going to integrate it into their existing applications, what makes sense, what are the use cases for this. Nobody's swimming a triathlon right now. People are still kind of dipping their toes in the water. So except DaShaun. DaShaun's a triathlon.
I have one more takeaway. I was putting AI into two buckets, the generative AI. I was putting it into two buckets. I was saying, hey, you had the apps where we're integrating the LLMs, doing business decisions, planning travel or whatever. And then I had the code assistant bucket where, hey, I'm using this along with my IDE. I've got some terminal things, got some agents running, but I left with a third bucket. There's a third bucket that's not code assistant. It's business, commercial, corporate assistant, where a lot of developers have an agent that's checking their emails, making sure they reply to emails, looking at their calendar, scheduling time for them to focus on code. But it was a different set of things that people are doing with AI that I heard it enough that I've now created a third bucket in my mental
like
model.
Productivity.
Just productivity things, not code, not code assistant, all the other stuff that's not getting pushed to production, that's not getting committed to GitHub, all of the other stuff. There's a whole crazy bucket of things that people are doing in that bucket.
Well, even on top of that, even in the coding assistant bucket, most of the things I heard was, how do I take away the toil of stuff I'm doing? Updating continuous, integration and doing YAMLs and all these other things that they might have to do beyond or update Jira tickets or whatever it might be. Those are the things I heard a lot more of than the actual code itself.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very cool. Well, I know we're getting kind of close on time, so I guess any key insights or anything else we want to share with our community of watchers?
Java is alive and well. I know the outside community has been trying to proclaim us dead for the last 30 years, but it is a great time to be a Java developer. I felt the energy in the conference. The ideas were swarming. People are out there building things, and it is a great time to be a Java and a Spring developer. So
that's still the most popular framework in the enterprise.
There's a book that had a book signing at the conference. Dan Vega, Nate Shuda, popular. The line was around the floor. It was all the way down. Popular book. There's another book that was written in 2017 by Josh Long and Kenny Bastani that I am a big fan of. And I am here to tell you now that there is a autographed version of that book that is now on eBay being auctioned. Autographed version of Cloud Native Java, Designing Resilient Systems with Spring Boot, Spring Cloud, and Cloud Foundry by Josh Long and Kenny Bastani that is now being auctioned on eBay. I'm just throwing that out there.
Wow.
For anybody.
That's another $1 million eBay purchase.
Yeah,
so are we going to auction these cards?
Did Josh put that up there? Or
and it is not Josh. It is not Josh.
Maybe it's Kenny.
It is not Kenny. It is not Kenny.
And Josh, you're on mute. So
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all right.
All right. Well, that's if you're looking for a great book, you can go bid on that. I don't
That's
have
a
the
great
link,
one.
but yeah, you should check it out. Any other thoughts? I know I think Josh has to get to something else, and I know it is past our time. And hey, thank you all for coming and hanging out with us and sharing the DevNexus. I still have massive FOMO of these cards, but
Yeah. The other thought is we mentioned at the beginning, but if you got here a little bit late, you can get some more of these cards at Spring IO in Barcelona. Right?
Mhm.
Barcelona, new venue, new time. It's such another just amazing event. The hallway track is awesome. The people there, the food and the culture in Barcelona is so great to be at. Unfortunately, I won't be there this year. I'm not a little jealous. Not a little.
I'm a lot jealous.
yeah.
But if you're going to be there, go get these cards. They're awesome to have. And again, use them as a jumping off point. Hey, go, talk to a speaker after a session, go get one of their cards and collect all of them and come back and show us. And I'll trade you for some. So,
yeah. And now our official preview site, tanzucards.com. You can see all the upcoming cards you can collect and use that as your guide as you navigate.
And somebody
Spring
may
IO.
or may not have registered TanzuTheGathering.com. I will send that over to you.
We went over this, DaShaun. The tunnel's not going to work like that. But anyway,
we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay.
C name. All right.
All right. Well, without
Thanks,
further ado, how do we close the show? Who knows? Some people know, but we'll the CF by, right?
CF by.
Okay. Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
CF by.
CF by.
CF by.
Bye.